he's my brother, and he's also my pastor. You know,
Yes.
and so it's so the way that I'll share this, the way that it's amazing how God connects you with people, because um in 2017 I was going through a really difficult time in my personal life, and I was just really battling with a lot of things. And by the end of that year, I was really dealing with a lot of mental health, like warfare in my mind, a lot of just thoughts, and like I was really battling, man, depression and anxiety. Like it was really bad, like really, really bad. To the point where I was almost going to be like taking medication because it was just so bad for me. You know, I was trying to find a way to get through it. And so through prayer and just like focusing and just trusting God and like, you know, accountability and just for, you know, God just directing my path. I at the end of that year, a friend of mine told me about Pastor Mike. And she said, "Hey man, I want you to," and he wasn't as big as he is right now, right? He was starting to get a little attention, but it was nothing like now. He wasn't a big known preacher. And so I was listening to some of his messages, and I really loved his, you know, his preaching. It was really speaking to my heart. So that was like December of 2017. Well, in January, I think it was January, I think it was January or early February. January, I sent him a message on Instagram. I went to Instagram, and he was following me. And I didn't, you know, I didn't even know who he was. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. He's following me. And, you know, maybe he had 15,000 followers,
Yeah.
something like that. You know, he didn't have a big following like that. Maybe
Yeah.
a little more, but not much. But he was following me, and I was like, oh wow, that's cool. This guy, you know, I don't really know him like that, but he's following me. And so I sent him a message, and I just asked him. I said, hey man, I just want you to know that I'm really listening to your preaching and your messages, and what you're doing at your church is really helping me out. I'm in a bad place in my life right now, and God is using you to really speak to me. And so I told him that, and then he responded like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. I was like, maybe he'll respond, maybe he won't. I don't know. He's a pastor. He's a
Yeah.
husband. He's a father. He's got a whole life. Maybe you know. But he responded a couple of weeks later, and he just sent me a message, and he just encouraged me, and just was like, "Hey man, I see what you're going through, and I'm gonna be praying for you." And then he gave me his phone number, and he said, "Hey man, you know, if you need me and if I can help you out, I'll help you out." And that was when I connected with him. And then in the next year, I came to Transformation. They were put on their first conference, and he brought me out to come and be a guest to come play with the band
Yeah.
and be a part of the worship team. And so I did that, and then I ended up moving a year later because, you know, the whole COVID and the
Yeah.
pandemic, all of that happened in March, and
Yeah.
I went back and played in February for when they did the opening of the new building, and then everything shut down after that. So I ended up getting a job offer for the music director role in
Oh, yeah. Well, you're actually the music director here.
what's that?
You're actually the music director in the transformation church.
This is true. Yeah, I don't talk about it, you know, because I don't like to be like, hey, I'm the music director, everybody. You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's necessary, you know. But like a lot of people put it in their bio, you know.
Music director.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
I just choose to not do that because I just, it's not the way I am. I'm just not naturally. I don't like a lot of tension in that area. I don't know what it is why I do that. But yeah, I ended up I started working at the church in January of 2020.
Yeah.
And then yeah, man. Like I said, I would connect with him. He would always encourage me. I would reach out to him, and if he had time, he would respond. If he didn't, he'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm busy, but like, what's going on?" You know, he would just keeping. He was always encouraging to me, always encouraging to me. And so now, like I said, man, we're friends. I mean, I don't talk to him every day. He's a busy guy, as you can imagine. He's got what 2 million followers, something like that, on Instagram. That's a lot. That's a lot of. I don't even want that. I don't want. That's, you know. I'm like, God, you know what? Keep me at my little 23,000 or whatever, whatever number I'm at right now. That's fine. I don't need to have a big following. I'd rather, because that comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of
Yeah, true,
pressure,
true. True.
a lot of you. If you make any mistakes, everybody's ready to just destroy your name. Everybody's gonna like. You see how they do him, you know? Everybody's oh he's heresy, heresy, you know? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
This man is like God is working through him to change people's lives. It's powerful. People just that's false doctrine, you know. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure, but he's been a great leader, and it's been great sitting under him because he's even though it's funny we're the same age,
Okay.
we're born the same year. I'm actually
Okay.
4 months older than him, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But he's got like 5 years of wisdom on me or something. You know,
Yeah.
he has a gift. He has a gift on him where he's really God just really trusts him to lead people, and God trusts him with preaching His word. He's anointed to preach, man, and to do a lot of things. But one of the things I'll say about Pastor Mike is that Mike is he's a very and he will tell you this himself. One of his most I think one of his strongest gifts outside of music and preaching is the ability to take good and make it greater. He'll take greater. I mean, he'll take good and make it great. He'll take great and make it greater. He'll take greater and make it the greatest. Like he's really, you know what I'm saying? He just pulls greatness out of you, man. When I first came to the church, I had a lot of experience in the music industry, right? I had been writing, producing music, playing with artists, traveling the world, like at the highest level of the music industry. I've seen it, I've done it, all that stuff. So I wasn't coming to the church like as somebody who didn't know, like like you know, they knew that like I was someone who had been in the industry for a long time, but I had never had to operate in the way that I've been operating over the past 2 years. I've been a music director in some situations, but not for like one of the biggest churches. You know what I'm saying? Like with one of the biggest platforms right now, you know? I'd never done something on that level in terms of me having to be a music director. I'd never done that before. And so and I'd never had what we would consider a normal job, right? Um, so I work office hours, you know, like I'm in, 9 to 5. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'll be honest, like I won't say I hate it, but it's not my favorite thing to do 9 to 5, like that kind of time frame. But God knew that I needed that kind of structure for my life because I was engaged before I moved to Tulsa. I was about to get married, and I have a daughter. I just had my son. Like God was getting me ready to be a better husband, a better leader, a better father. Because he was like, oh yeah, I'm about to put some discipline in you. I gotta answer these emails every day, and I gotta and I have to lead people, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, God. Like, he's like, no, I made you a leader. And I've been a leader in several situations, but this is different, man. It's different. But Pastor Mike calls you higher, man, and that's what I love about him. That's why I love that dude. He's really very honest, very genuine. And like I said, he's a really good guy, man. What you see when he's preaching, and when you see him and he's having fun and he's clowning and all this stuff, that's how he really is. He's not like somebody else when turn the camera off and he's screaming and cursing at everybody. That's not what it is. Man, I can't. I think I can't hear your.
Yes, yes, sir.
Oh,
I
you
muted.
muted it. You mute.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. That's I have a good relationship with him, man. He's like I said, he's been a blessing to me, and I'm grateful to God.